Have you played any other fighting games? I played fighting games, right? Like my first 2D one was BlazBlue Central Fiction. And if you're gonna ask me how the hell I got into Central Fiction before I got into Street Fighter, well, the first time I was learning about other fighting games aside from Smash Bros. Was one person bringing their PlayStation into our what is it called? Into our room for in college, and that is where I learned about Central Fiction. I played Smash, I played through, I played Central Fiction, I played some Mortal Kombat 9, when I was much younger. Very little, though. But yeah, I played some other I played other fighting games. I call myself a fighting game fan. I've also played stuff like, other arena fighters and stuff like that, too. I mostly play Smash and Soul Calibur and stuff. I have some experience with Soul Calibur. But yeah, Smash is the one I mostly played, and it's the one that I got to a competitive level at. And then I stopped competing in that game, and I didn't really play fighting games to that level ever again. Soul characters and custom on quote-unquote mean mugging stuff here. Yeah, that's fair. No, that's fair. Like, custom character stuff's really cool. I like the custom character stuff. It's super neat. Got to make a pretty buff girl. You know what? I think that's more important than anything else. But yeah, I stopped taking them so seriously because it was really fucking messing with me. Like, I could not have fun with fighting games like I used to. And then, what is it called? And then, comes, what is it? Who doesn't want to be a pretty buff woman? Exactly. The fucking look at me for example. I wanted to become one so bad I just did. But yeah, then came the whole shit in 2020 with stuff with the Smash community, and me being still thinking I was a guy at the time, was like, okay, hang on. I cannot condone this. I cannot condone the shit that I am hearing about right now. Because what in the fuck? Here I am, not really playing fighting games competitively anymore. Switching to some more other stuff like shooters and JRPGs and stuff like that. Although I've mainly been doing multiplayer. I've been mainly doing multiplayer games on the channel itself. I play more than just that though. Granted, I haven't played much of other than the stuff I played on streams since I started streaming, because that's what I have my free time. But you know, whatever. Smash community's a mess, yeah. I didn't know about it at the time. For better and for worse, I don't typically interact with the community itself with stuff. Like, I enjoy Demon Slayer. I enjoy My Hero, kinda, sort of. I enjoyed it at least. The last few seasons, I haven't really done that as much, other than like My Hero Academia. But, you never see me interacting with the fan bases with that because I felt it was so not worth it. But yeah, I freaking did not like the fact that that was happening. So I kind of gave up. I left the community, and I feel better about myself not being as competitive of a person. That being said, that showed me to a lot of the competitive side that I was just blind to when it came to fighting games. Like, there's a lot of like elitism and shit, and I don't understand why. Like, there's just a few people that'll tell you Smash isn't a fighting game. Why? Because it's a platform game. It's a party game, you silly Billy. Can't be a fighting game, even though you're performing combos on your opponents. You're fighting one-on-one against certain people. We've made it so that the entire community has made it so that I can be competitively and what is it called? And accessibility wise as good as possible. Nah, it's not a fighting game. It's because it's a platform game. You can't play as Mario Kart. And like the arena fighters that I play. Demon Slayer, My Hero One's Justice. Oh, those aren't fighting games, they're arena fighters. Those don't count as fighting games. And I have to ask why? Because they're literally just fighting games. Granted, it's not the best fighting games in the world, but they are fighting games. Like, objectively speaking, they are fighting games. It's one person against another person.
Spinning bird kick.
It's a fighting game. What is an arena fighter and why is it not a platform fighter? Actually, that's a good question. Okay, fair enough. Okay. So arena fighters are like, hey, you know Tekken? You know Tekken, how it takes place in like a 3D space and all? Arena fighters are, what if we didn't have the Tekken 2D-esque type element of fighting? Yeah, so imagine Tekken, right? Except it didn't take place in like a 2D-esque kind of plane whenever you were fighting. It was all in like the giant arena being one stage. There's no sidestepping to another like dimension or something like that. It's just you move around freely in this one space. And because of that, you can't do things like command input, like quarter circle forward, charge back forward, stuff like that. You can't do that anymore because that's just you moving around. So what they do is they tie the skills to a simple button press. Typically either forward skill, guard skill, or neutral skill. That's an arena. Like Soul Calibur, I unfortunately cannot confirm or deny that because I have no idea what Soul Calibur Legends. You know what? Fuck this. Give me a sec. Let me see some Soul Calibur Legends gameplay. I'm gonna see if that's correct. Honestly, it would essentially play similarly to that. It's not 100% because it was made as a beat 'em up, but it has that look. You're able to run around the stage. You have a single attack button. You have skills. So yeah, it is similar to that. Now, a lot of them aren't made very well because a lot of them are reduced to anime person, and like for anime, characters sell anime stuff. So most of them focus on anime, like anime characters and stuff, and not really the gameplay itself, which sucks because a lot of people take it as, oh, it's a cheap knockoff, because fucking a lot of them are. A lot of the games are. When I got into the games, which is around My Hero One's Justice time, that's when arena fighters were starting to get good. That's when arena fighters really started getting good. So things like Demon Slayer and My Hero One's Justice My Hero One's Justice 2 were freaking fantastic. They're fantastic arena fighters. If there is any arena fighter I would recommend, it is those two games. One, because Demon Slayer is the most current one. And two, My Hero One's Justice 2 does have a niche player base if you're able to find servers and whatnot. We're going up against the Zangief. But yeah, that's why a platform fighter is a 2D arena, like where you're able to jump up on like the stages and stuff, and the main goal is to knock them out of the ring. Platform fighters and arena fighters are two completely different things that still count as fighting games, and that's my point. They're still fighting games at the end of the day. No matter what is said, they're still fighting games. Yeah, that's the difference between platform fighters and arena fighters. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I say that because both of them are very not taken seriously by the fighting game community. Like, they're different from traditional fighting games. Yes! They're different traditional fighting games. I agree. That's why I'm so shit at this game. Because all the games I'm somewhat okay at are like this. Like, I agree with you. At the same time, of course, it doesn't preclude them from being fighting games. They're just a different take on a very broad genre, and I'm dead. Fucking Christ, that's a lot of damage. No one's gonna argue that Soul Calibur isn't a fighting game. They're gonna argue it's probably a little niche, but no one's gonna argue that Soul Calibur is not a fighting game in the realm like Street Fighter is. They're just very different fundamentally. Yeah, they're different take on an extremely narrow genre. Really? I think fighting game, like the essence of fighting game is extremely flexible. And depending on how creative you want to go, yeah, I am not focused on this fight at all. I am not focused on this fight at all. And like, depending on how creative you want to go, you could make almost anything a fighting game. It's extremely flexible, but what people do with it is not. Oh, fair. Yeah, fair. I was gonna say, for example, I remember making a game, right? And that game I made, in like Game Maker Garage, was a dodgeball fighting game. You had one hit, and I was going to make a traditional one, but I found limitations to be really stifling. So I made a dodgeball fighting game type thing where you had one hit. You were able to throw a ball on the arena. You could only have one ball at a time, by the way, and you have to avoid the other person's dodgeball. You also had a platform you could spawn above you. You can only have one at a time, again. And that was your overhead attack, quote unquote. That was your anti-air, basically. And you essentially had to... quickly and efficiently kill the other opponent. And it was literally made so that it could end in a second. Literally, the opening move could be life and death. So I think that if you could technically consider that a fighting game, then the essence of a fighting game in and of itself is flexible. It's two people duking it out. And what people think about it, what people do with it is very limited, and that's unfortunate. But yeah, if I could do that in a simple freaking game creator that was basically a block-based game creator and call that a fighting game, there's so much. Yeah, I'm gonna spectate this. There's so much you could do with fighting games then. And it feels so weird that a lot of people don't like it. They want... Granted, this is innovative. This is a very innovative fighting game. I'm not gonna say this freaking some sort of derivative. Oh, that was a quick fight. I'm not gonna say this is some sort of derivative thing or something like that. Street Fighter 6 is phenomenal. It's a phenomenal fighting game, but it's a very traditional fighting game. Soul Calibur and Tekken and stuff like that are very good derivatives of traditional fighting games. Platform fighters are very interesting when it comes to that. Magic the Gathering Battlegrounds? I have not. Please tell me. Please tell me what that is. I'm curious. But yeah, I really just hate the whole thing when it comes to, oh, this isn't a fighting game, oh, that isn't a fighting game, because fucking, it's okay. Fighting games take a lot of forms. And my definition of a fighting game is so fucking broad that there's a lot of shit that you consider a fighting game. It's using magic cards in 1v1 duels, but it's real time and you hold the entire deck in your hand. What? That seems a little crazy. How do you get mana and shit going? Yo, have you heard of what is it called? Battle of Eden? There's like a grid-based fighting game now. There's like like using the grid-based RPG card system as a fighting game mechanic. And that's so cool. You collect ores to spawn to increase your mana, and then you mash close the menu button to regenerate it. Oh, Duelists of Eden. I know the art. Oh, that's cool. Hell yeah, I didn't know you knew the artist. Yeah, Duelists of Eden is that's just a fighting game now? There's Yomi Hustle, which makes an RPG fighting game! And I'm just like, there's so much you could do with fighting games. Would these not be considered fighting games and those that say Smash isn't a fighting game? Would Duelists of Eden be in the same crowd that says that anime arena fighters aren't fighting games? It's just annoying. It's just an annoying thing that I freaking hate. I call myself a fighting game fan, even though I do not know much about traditional fighting games. Because let me tell you, I think I became a fighting game fan the minute that Blaze Blue, that I got my first win in Blaze Blue Central Fiction with Noelle, and it was fucking amazing. It felt fucking good. I felt like a god. I have fighting game PTSD. It's there. Can't touch them. This is unfortunate. I can't force you to play fighting games. I can't force you to play them. But there's a lot of fun if you can just not look at the competitive side and just try to learn and have fun with the fighting game, but not worry about it too much. It's the same thing with shooters at that point. Like, if you're not focused on being super fucking good and just having fucking jollies with your friends in Fortnite, the game becomes a lot more fun than trying to figure it out. The reason I want to know, I think you can, at least you can hear this one, Dimitri, because you're not you're a patent scribbler. The reason that I didn't the reason that I personally did not touch Fortnite before I started with that $50 subscription was A, out of principle, and B, because there are people that can just snipe you in the game. You can just get sniped in Fortnite, and there's no way for you to know how to do that or why. But when I stopped really focusing on that, when I started just going over and fucking running into people head first with a car and then losing a fight because I did something stupid like that, I realized I could just have fun with the game, and eventually I got much better at it. I think I'm much better than I was before, but I had a lot of fun along the way, and that's what matters. This game that fucked the spikes on but they don't have controls, so they can give you an ego boost. I'm not the perfect teacher when it comes to a fighting game. Oh, they got the special one! They got the special one! Booty bounce! Nice. But yeah, freaking, you get, like, and this is one thing I fell into too, especially when I was playing fighting games a lot more. Getting beat up is, like, although the adage itself has truth to it, getting beat up is the way to learn a fighting game, right? But at the same time, you gotta fight people somewhat your level. It's like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I've been playing quite a bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! And freaking, I'm on another thing there. Alright, Mary gets it. I do get it. I do get it. I do get it. It's like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right? If you're just starting out the game, right? My Dark Magician deck that's just gonna go over and bring out freaking black, can bring out, I don't know, Master of Chaos and Black Chaos Soldier in one minute is not gonna teach you the game. That's me stopping you from playing the game. It's a little different. Me banishing your cards over and over again defensively isn't gonna teach you how to link monsters, yeah? Even if you have a monster in your deck that does it. It's us going through the deck and reading each thing, and me telling you, okay, you know how you punish this? You have this card in your deck. Your win condition now is to do this, and that's how you teach someone. You don't learn by losing, you learn by knowing how you're losing. And that's the exact issue. But yeah, you learn by how you're losing. So for instance, right here, if they were to, like, this Luke is basically trying to grab his way to victory right now. But the Lily is adapting to it ever so slowly. They're somewhat at similar power levels right now. It's just that Luke is able to abuse the thing a lot more. And Bio isn't exactly particularly much worse than them. Now, if someone like Bio was fighting a pro at this game right now, there ain't no way he was gonna learn anything. Because why in the fuck would you learn anything? You just got mollywopped! I spent 60% of my life with experts at Naruto and Smash and Tekken and Killer Instinct. Not one of them went easy. Not one of them taught me a damn thing. It just kind of felt good for folding. Oh, that all? Oh, that all? Fuck, honestly? No, true. Because there's a lot of different fighting games that you do the thing to. But yeah, freaking, I feel that. That's the game because of my friends. Well, let me tell you right now, they're not good teachers. Those friends may be good friends. They might be fun to play with if they play together, right? But they're not good teachers. They're not teaching you how to play the game. They're just playing the game, and you can't play the game if you don't know how to play the game.